All right, Pisceans, welcome into your yearly forecast. So this is for the year 2026. So we're going to kind of tap in, see what the themes are for next year for you guys. We're going to specifically tap into the Neptune-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, which is happening on February 20th. And so again, next year is just a huge year about, it's like a whole new beginning for the collective in general. Like all sorts of aspects are happening that just represent new beginnings, restarts, just starting from the beginning, clearing the old. I know we've been hearing this for a while, but we've really been doing the most prep work that we could to prepare us, from my perspective, and from, if you're listening to all the astrologers and all the spiritualists, really is preparing us for next year, or this year, 2026. So Saturn and Neptune, it really does represent this reset and restart, especially too because it's at 0 degrees Aries, which Aries is the first zodiac sign, right? And 0 degrees is really symbolizing that starting new, that like starting at square one line. So when we look at what Saturn and Neptune represent, so Saturn is kind of this is in that kind of conjunction is about disillusion or collapsing the old, really collapsing karmic things, because Saturn really represents karma. You have the collapse of the old institutions, structures, organizations, and even in our individual lives, it's really closing out karmic cycles. And then you have Neptune, which is about disillusionment, illusory dreams. And this is really going to be clearing out anything that's causing a disillusion or causing distortion to the collective. So if there's any sort of people, organizations, governments, anything that is showing up in a way that's not in integrity, that's not in truth, where they're trying to trick people, that's really going to be, this is going to be a complete year of kind of the truth coming out, right? The mask is going to be removed. So that's what that big conjunction is. And we're going to tap in and specifically pull to see how this is going to impact you Pisceans specifically in February. So especially the beginning of the year, there's going to be a lot of closures, collapsing. We have been living in an environment of chaos and conflict, so that's not anything new to us. That's definitely going to continue through the beginning of the year. So just be aware, but the guidance really for you guys and us as individuals on how to deal with that is to stay disconnected from it. We don't want to get pulled in, and everything out there is going to try and pull you in to the chaos and conflict, and also pull you in because Pisces, you are ruled by Neptune. So this is going to specifically impact you guys more heavily. So I would be very careful about allowing you to take truth in things that are happening externally. The problem is with that Neptunian energy, as you guys know, it can make us believe something that's not true. Okay, it looks like something, but behind the scenes, it's really something else. And that's where you guys don't get pulled in, because you can get pulled in through manipulation of your emotional body, through anger, trying to create anger, aggression, frustration, resistance, all these things. It's like that's what these dense energies want to create from you. And the more you're giving it to them, you're just kind of fueling the dense energies out there. The other big one is April 25th, we have Uranus moving into Gemini. So that's a big one. Uranus stays in a sign for 7 years. So Uranus has been in Taurus for the last 7 years. So looking back at the last 7 years of your life, I've talked about this in some of my other readings. What's happened? What happened 7 years ago? Maybe you started on some new path or made some new decisions, but really Uranus and Taurus is really liberating us from the things that we've been holding on to, that we've created a false sense of security or stability on. Taurus likes that stability. Taurus likes things that are comfortable and safe. And Uranus is like, hey, I'm coming in here. That's like a revolutionary energy. And it's about liberation, freedom, and doing it in ways that are very sudden, unexpected, surprising. So, but Taurus, there's been that like tug of war pull between the two energies of wanting to blow up the old that really is not for your best good, with Taurus trying to say, well, but I'm comfortable here. And, you know, this is safe to me. But Uranus is like, but it's safe, but it's not really safe. But now that Uranus is moving into Gemini, this is really going to liberate us. I mean, so anything that you've been resisting, because you have 7 years to basically kind of learn the lessons and go through the transformative energy and to free yourself from the things that Uranus wants you to, you know, free you from. But now Gemini is really going to be a turning point. And it's really going to lighten the energies up. But this is about, there's going to be a complete revolution around how we think as a collective, speak, how we learn and connect. So we could see things like major changes in our education, how we're teaching, how we're learning. The old structures like colleges, universities, would be a time that we may see a whole complete change in how that looks. We already know that structure is based on kind of manipulation, on greed. It's turned into a business. It's not there to really support the highest potential of growing our humans. It's more of, hey, we've created the structure that you're stuck in. You're not really, you know, learning the things you need to really go out and do the things that your soul is asking you to do. So anyways, I wanted to call that out. So yeah, it's going to be a year of quantum jumps. By mid-June, July, that's going to be the time of like where the quantum jump happens, because the first of the year is really about the collapsing, the disillusionment, the breaking apart things, and liberation. And then once we're liberated and free and we're kind of at square one, that's where we can make quantum jumps to now align with the human that we were really meant to be, and also start to align with a new collective vision that's better for all of us. So wanted to call those things out for all of you. So let's dive in here, I guess. If you're interested in a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, which is linked below. I'm also going to be adding to my channel, I'm going to be adding a new, I guess, service. So I'm going to be doing an option where you can get a recorded channeled message. You can send and ask me some questions that maybe if you're looking, what topics you're looking to get information about. You can just get a general channeled message. That although is recorded, pre-recorded, I kind of tap into your questions, to your energy, and will channel a message for you. That's not on my channel as I speak here, but either two things here. By the time you see this, it's either going to be on there, hopefully. If not, just reach out to me You can book the reading and then email or reach out through the kind of messaging on my website and ask for that specifically. All right, let's see here. First, I'm going to get some overall oracle cards to see about themes for this year for Pisceans. So we have the Temple Path and deliberation here at the feet of Lao Tzu in China. So I do feel, Pisces, this has been a theme. I kind of feel this has been similar to the readings in 2025 for you, but I feel like you are definitely going to be still, I think you've been in a deliberation mode about like your future, your path ahead. I still, obviously this energy is still coming out about you deliberating, but there is this higher path that you're meant to be on. And if you can see here how I pulled these cards, the Temple Path is behind him, and he's looking at the future, or he's not seeing the Temple Path. But the Temple Path really represents kind of our spiritual path. To me, it's like your higher path. And there is this path that you're meant to follow and be on that's going to help you expand and grow. And I just feel like I feel like your soul is like, you feel it calling you. But I'm wondering what you're deliberating, Pisces. Why are you deliberating what your soul is calling you to do? So let's see. Let's get one more here. Action and planning. Okay. So I do think now with these two cards, like he's looking on these two cards of action and planning. So I do feel like you're deliberating, but you're kind of planning out the action you're going to take or how this is going to unfold. So you have the horses here in this action card, and something I didn't mention before, but next year is the year of the horse in the Chinese zodiac. So to me, that has a lot of meaning for you. That's going to be a complete change of energy from 2025, because 2025 was the year of the snake. And the snake is about major transformation. It's about shedding your old skin. It can be a little bit about deception in regards to ourselves. Not that we're being deceived, but it is about wisdom and knowledge. But I feel like that's part of the temple path you've been on, is you've been learning some lessons. You've been gaining a lot of kind of wisdom from your experience. And it's been helping you navigate to get back on your higher path. But that horse energy next year is about freedom and liberation, which is funny because we have that Uranus moving into Gemini. It's also about action. It's about adventure, boldness, just going into the life that you want to live. And I feel like you're actually going to be taking action next year on moving forward into a new something. Okay, so you could be looking at moving or changing jobs or something. To me, it's like a big change though. So you're definitely going to be doing a lot of moving and a shaking next year, Pisces. But definitely it's about going towards the things that really speak to your soul. And that's why the temple path is here. This is a spiritual path. And that path is very individual to you, and making sure that you're aligning yourself with those things. So the first thing I'm going to pull some cards on is around that Saturn-Neptune conjunction happening in February. And we do have the Magician coming out. That flew out. So there definitely is something here. This is really going to be a great energy for you guys to utilize to manifest things and to align with. So moving towards that date and around that time, from now till February, it's a time for you to really come into alignment and focus on those things that you want to bring in or shift. And you do have all the tools in your tool chest here to do that. I think currently, even if you're questioning, you have the ability and the tools right now to make this happen. And then you have the King of Coins. So there's definitely something about wanting to create, some of you are really wanting to create some more of this vision of what you want your life to look like, and you want to create that. That could look more like a more solid foundation in regards to your work, your finances. It could be about, again, just something to change to align more with the vision or what your higher kind of dream is for your life here. Nine of Swords. There is something about this that there's a little bit of fear and anxiety about here. You're too much in your head about it. And that could be the deliberation piece. So what's causing this? Because I feel like your soul is clear, and your soul is pulling you towards things that align with, your higher purpose here. But something is a bit you're in your head about. Ace of Coins. You could be worried about, like, how is this going to unfold? How is this going to happen? But there is going to be an opportunity that's going to present itself to help you go in that direction. And that's around this Neptune, Saturn energy. So this is this is the restart energy, that like new door opening up. It's almost like, are you going to walk through and take the opportunity here, Pisces? What's the Nine of Swords about? Okay. So there could be something in your personal life that's holding you back. Nope, excuse me. There could be a relationship. There could be like just how this looks, or like your house, something. It could be about house, moving, a relationship. And like, if you're on the fence about having to, maybe it's causing you to choose a relationship versus choosing like work and career, or like a dream path you want to follow. Let me get one more. Page of Coins. Queen of Cups. So I do feel like there's someone tied to this. So the anxiety is coming, you're in your head a lot because there is some sort of person in your life. So again, this could be like a partner or someone that that's part of this contemplation or deliberation here. Yeah. It's like this, what do I do? What do I do here? Or maybe someone else, maybe you're clear on what you want, but they don't know. I don't know. They're kind of always up and down about it, but there is this immature energy here. I feel like you're getting a lot of impassioned, you're feeling a lot of passion more and more about like wanting to like take a new path or do something new. And this has been coming up for Pisces for a while. You're still stuck in the story, Pisces. So what's going on here? So this Neptune Saturn piece, I feel like this is going to force you out of this kind of sitting on the fence. So you've been stuck in this like story and it just hasn't moved. So I'm telling you, if you don't take some sort of action before February, the universe is going to step in and kind of force you. And there's some lesson here tied to this. So this experience you've been having has some sort of lesson behind it, and that's why you had to go through it. Obviously, everything we go through, there's a reason. But there is some sort of lesson here about that's really valuable to you in regards to what your future can look like. So I think you have a major, like, obviously decision to make here. All right, so that's around that aspect happening in February. So I do feel like you have a little bit of time to try and figure this out before the universe steps in here. All right, so let's just look at general general themes here for the year. What does Pisces need to know about this year that can best help you guys? All right, so we have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Two of Pentacles again, the Five of Cups, and the High Priestess. So I feel like, again, the High Priestess is like something that you know. You know in your heart, you know in your soul, something about your situation. You know the answer here, is what it's saying. I do feel like there's a little bit of why you're deliberating and why you're like uncertain is because I do feel like you do have to make some decisions that potentially are going to cause you some loss or sadness. This could be about like walking away from somebody. This could be about just starting a whole new journey. And it's kind of like grieving the old, or grieving something that you thought was going to be something more than it was. But I feel a little bit like, well, I feel like with the Six of Cups and the Seven of Swords, this could be a relationship that what's happening here is what I'm seeing here, because this is like nostalgia. This is also about like our childhood and our relationships. I almost feel like you're in a situation that's distorting you. And what's happening is this is a mirror of some sort of childhood trauma experience. So this could be definitely more than likely is a relationship that you're in or been in. You think this is love, but really what this is like, this is definitely a trauma bond. It's a trauma bond. You've attracted each other because you have similar woundings. But I do feel like there's a bit of like distortion. Like it's like you're lying to yourself about the situation. And that's what's causing this, like always like one day you're okay and one day you're like, you know, screw all this. Like you're kind of like that up and down in your emotions about it. So this is kind of the base kind of theme going on. I do feel like this is also saying, because if you are attracting trauma bond relationships, there's still some sort of integration or healing that you have to do that you haven't done yet, and facing this sort of the something from the past or multiple things in the past. Let's see. I'm just going to get one more card for the Six of Cups, Seven of Swords, Four of Pentacles. So I feel like because of your childhood and your trauma, you definitely are looking, it's like you're searching for stability. You're searching for something that feels safe, that's solid, that's stable. You probably had a childhood that wasn't stable, where you didn't necessarily feel safe, or that your guardians or people around you were making decisions that weren't necessarily great for you, that caused a lot of, you know, uncertainty in your life. But yeah, so now you're searching for stability. So I do feel like you're potentially holding on to something because it provides you a false sense of stability. So you're definitely holding on to something. But this is what needs to be addressed in 2026. So I do think this is going to be the year that you finally have to get clear and take some action. And it might take some, again, planning. It might take some strategy here, but sometimes we have to make those hard decisions of going out of our comfort zone. And that can be one of the hardest things we have to do, is step out of our comfort zone, because our comfort zone has provided us, again, a false sense, like it's all false. It's not real. It's an unhealthy environment, but it's what we know, right? And and we like that we know it, because what we don't know, right, the unknown, is more scary to us than actually sitting in an unhealthy, toxic situation. which is kind of, you know, messed up, but that's how we work, you know. All right, we have the Six of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. I do feel like there is definitely a lot of stubborn energy, so that could definitely be you, Pisces. A lot of stubborn energy of like not wanting to, again, you're kind of like, well, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to pout and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to call out all the things that aren't working, but you're really not willing to do what's needed to actually, like, she's in this card, like the universe is offering you some sort of cup here, which represents something that's fulfilling for you or something that you want. Yet you have to actually, you know, for one, see it. But I also think to get it, it's asking you to do something that you just haven't been willing to do. This something has created a lot of confusion for you. I do feel like partly of why you're in that kind of mode is because there's a lot of, I feel like you go in and out. You go in and out of like clarity. You go in and out of like, no, this is what I really want. And then something pulls you back into confusion. So that could be the manipulation going on. There is someone that's kind of deceiving you. And I don't think it's like they're lying. I think it's they're using potentially manipulation to kind of make you believe something. But the Knight of Wands here, I think, to me, that's saying you're kind of gullible, Pisces. And again, goes back to just what I said. You're very gullible. So someone can make you believe something very easily. So you may, right, because the Six of Cups is about, one aspect of it is about our dreams and desires. And like I said, one moment you're very clear on, this is what I want, this is what my dream is. And then it's like someone's gullible to kind of talk you out of it. But I do feel like the fire kind of burning, again, those passions are starting to grow bigger and bigger within you. And eventually, like, I feel like finally you just like can't take it anymore and you take some sort of action. Kind of impulsively. That's very Uranus energy as well. So that could be part of what's prompting this next year. So we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Cups. There's the Queen of Cups again. And the Eight of Cups. So there is some sort of deliberation here to me about walking away from a relationship. That seems to be the clearest kind of storyline here. Or this is about walking away from a relationship, if that resonates. But this could also be, if you're not in a relationship, this could be just about walking towards, taking some big steps in your life to walk towards your true dreams and desires. Because we have all the cups energy here. And really standing up to anything that really has been holding you back. These could be beliefs about yourself. These could be other people in your life that are like, oh, well, you can't make money off that. Or, you know, that's not, you know, a logical career. Or, I mean, you're crazy if you want to just move to some other country and like you want to have like a travel channel influencer thing going on. Like, I almost feel like you really need to believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. And there's always going to be people in your environment that are trying to pull you back. I mean, that's just the nature of this polarity energy in this world, is there's always going to be things that are going to deter us from really truly aligning with the person and life we want to live. So that's what I feel here for both scenarios, is I feel like people have been trying to pull you back from living your best life or for following your dreams. And there's really could be some sort of using emotions to manipulate here. But I do feel like you are going to walk away, and it could be very impulsive. That's how this could unfold. Seven of Pentacles, Four of Wands, and the Moon. So you're kind of walking away from something or walking towards something new. I do feel like it's a very unknown future to you. This is what's happening to all of us. I think we're having to really make quantum jumps. To me, next year kind of represents the Fool card in the tarot, which is a new beginning, like jumping off that cliff, taking a risk, and not really knowing how it's going to end up. And that's kind of what I feel like. Same for you guys. I mean, again, that's a trend, not just for Pisces, but for everyone. There's still a bit of an unknown here, but you're willing to trust and just go towards what your soul is calling to you to do. Definitely, like, you know, you've invested a lot. If it's a relationship that you've been in that you are kind of deliberating, like, is this really going to work? I do feel like it's been kind of a long-term thing. You've kind of invested a lot in it, which to you is very difficult as well. To you, it's kind of been an investment. But going back to like this, I feel like you've been investing in this and it really isn't producing, like, it's not equitable for you. It's not an equitable investment. Like, you've kind of almost are still like negative. Like, this is a metaphor, right? So if it's a relationship, you've invested all this, but what have you gotten back from it? I feel like you're kind of in the negative at this point. You haven't really made anything off this. I definitely think there's going to need to be some healing to do. And take the time that you need to do that, to do the rest. Really go inside yourself and understand and learn the lesson so that you don't have to repeat the pattern. Because if you just, you know, in anything, if we just walk away very impulsively and just say, screw you, but don't look and kind of look within us to say, well, why did I attract that relationship? Why did I stay in it so long? You know, what are the things that I need to be aware of myself, the things within myself that is still aligning with trauma bonds? And I'm attracting people with trauma, whatever it is. Okay, let's see. Let's talk to this Queen of Cups, Chariot, Queen of Swords, and the Star. So someone finally gets really clear and kind of, the Queen of Swords she's very sharp with her words, but I think it's like, this is clear communication. I mean, this is like clearly stating, this is what I've decided, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, and you're kind of not allowing anyone else to have their say in how that looks. Like, you're making your mind up, and you're just saying, this is where I'm going, and this is what I'm doing. So, and it's going to happen, and you're going to move forward. And I think this is being clear about what your dreams are, the Star. Like, you have your dream, and you're going to follow it, and it's just like, you know, I'm leaving. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're dealing with someone who is very manipulative. Like, you kind of have to be that short with them and clear, because if they have any little opening, or if you give them any little rope, they're going to pull you in again. So we just want to be aware of that. I'm going to see the Knight of Wands, Ten of Cups, Moon, Page of Wands, and the Emperor. Yeah, you're kind of moving forward like on a hope and a dream here, which is fine, because I think that's what you need to do. Like, you have your dreams and you're just like, I'm going to make them happen. I think you have a lot of great ideas, and your ideas are what's really going to help you build some sort of, to me, this is like building an empire with the Emperor. You're building something really successful and big. And right now, maybe it's, you know, you don't know how this is going to play out, but I do feel like just you taking the first step and really just diligently focusing on putting energy into your ideas and making them a reality. This is building this 10 of Cups for you. So you are going towards the 10 of Cups. And I feel like you're not really, it's, you know, it's almost like you've sat too long into this deliberation mode. And next year, I feel like you just get that wild hair, like that fire lit under you, that you are just like, oh no, you all of a sudden get clarity, and you don't even waste a minute to just rush forward towards what you want. So I definitely think this is getting you off the fence. And next year, there's going to be a lot of moving and a shaking for you, Pisces. I think that's just a general energy. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of action, and things are going to happen faster than they have been. So just be prepared, get ready for this wild ride next year. All right, before we go, I have one more card I wanted to pull. And that is going to be from the Gaia Oracle. This is just a general theme, another just general message for next year that you need to think about. What's kind of the foundational energies for you? You have Jewel Within a Teardrop. Appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. And I'm going to read that for you. All right. You will soon experience a strong spiritual and emotional bond with another person, a family member, an animal, or a pet. During this time, you will also reconnect with your innermost feelings and true nature, which have been suppressed or ignored of late. This is a deeply emotional time where tears of sadness transform. Look at this. These are the tears of sadness, which transform to tears of joy. Your appreciation of life, love, and friendship will strengthen as you give thanks for the many blessings in your life. Love is truly all around you. Embrace it, cherish it, and honor it. You and those you love unite through a common bond, and the love you feel for one another grows stronger and more profound. This is a special and magical time. Be sure to savor each and every moment. Love is all that really matters. So I do feel like you have been suppressing a lot of your true, authentic self. I feel like you've been kind of suppressing your true dreams and desires in lieu of because of somebody else. But I feel like next year, just as this says, this is a year of potentially reconnecting to, this could also be people in the past. This could be family, people from your past, but there is definitely a reconnection year. This is about learning how to strengthen your bonds with, this could be a soul family coming in. But I do feel like finally you're able, there is definitely childhood, there's emotional trauma here that I think you've been suppressing, which has really fueled your patterns, your behaviors. Maybe it's been, you've kind of always been the type that pushes everyone away. But this is the year to kind of work through all that, heal that, reconnect with family, and learn what it means to bond and connect with a group of people. Not necessarily just one person. You know, it's like creating a whole tribe, energetic support around you that's loving and nurturing. And maybe this is something that you've always yearned for since childhood that maybe you didn't have as a child. Maybe you felt alone. But I feel like there is going to be, you know, it's almost like you do, it's not going to be easy at first. I do feel like you do have to face some pain here, but the tears are quickly going to, you know, turn to joy and love and reconnection here. So this, I think this is going to be an amazing year for you. And a magical year. So just be open to anything and everything here. Really, this is also a year that's really asking us to face our patterns, especially unhealthy patterns, patterns that disconnect us from ourselves, which of course then disconnect us from our external world, disconnect us from relationships. So it's like coming back to yourself, I feel. This is the year of you coming back to yourself. All right, Pisces. Amazing stuff. If you're going to come along with me to the extended, the link is below in the description. But we are going to, in the extended, tap into more detail around what's going to happen with love and relationships next year for you, and then work and career. And then I'll just pull a couple of cards on the outcome of next year. All right. So join me on the other side. If not, have a great day. Thanks for joining in. And I will see you in the next reading.